three plays that are all knit together, all with the same cast on the same weekend in the same house. Really funny stuff. Brilliant piece that was written in the early 70s by Alan Ayckbourn. And putting it together is a journey. We opened one show the first week. We opened the next show the second week. This week is our third week, and we open the third show. And then we start running the shows in rep after that, next week, and the week after, and the week after that. And up ahead on the last two Sundays, we do 2 marathons where we do all 3 shows. I've directed 2 of the 3 this time. This is the third time that the theater has done this production. We did it the very first year of the theater, and then we did it 15 years later, and now 15 years later. And in the previous 2, I directed all 3 of them. And in fact, in the first one, directed and played in all 3 of them, which I think now is absolute insanity, and I wouldn't even think about doing it again. But this time, Jim Covalt and I shared the directing duties, which was real interesting because I took the first and third play, and he took the middle play. And they're different in nature. And it's real, he really tried not to be influenced by whatever I was doing, other than we had to try to retain the integrity of the 3 shows and the way they cross over. But because living together, the middle show is, it's different by nature. It's not as broad as Round and Round the Garden or Table Manners. So it was real interesting to now look at them with 2 directors doing them. And it certainly made, for us, not the actors necessarily, but for us it made the rehearsal process much lighter. It was really odd for me last week when we opened the second one to suddenly not be involved. We've been sharing rehearsal time, of course, leading up to that. The plays were all rehearsing at the same time at one level or another. But suddenly, to open it a week and to know I was going to come back the week after and open the last one and have sort of no involvement in the middle of it, where another show was opening with your cast, with the same cast and characters. And it was just, it was a really strange experience last week to be kind of removed from it all of a sudden.
The lines were the most frightening thing, of course. You know, I think what happened was I got cast, and I went, yes, I got cast. And then I went, oh my God, what have I done? Because I have a full-time job also during the day. Learning the lines, well, let me start by saying it's scary looking at it from the front side. It turns out it wasn't as bad as I had expected it to be. The reason, there's a couple of different reasons. The main reason, I think, is because it's all the same character. So you don't have to start over with each play. Definitely. For me, the main thing is, I can't speak for everybody, of course, but for me, there's so much more depth to the character now. After all of these the second play, Living Together, it developed a lot more slowly. It was a different feel of a play from the first one, in my opinion. The first one was so rapid, and it was comedy, and it was fast lines and funny, and you had to be on top of what you were doing. The second one developed more slowly, and you got a feel for who the characters were. And because we hadn't really hit that and put it in front of an audience yet, the first one, as a result, didn't have that depth of character.
I mean, Sondheim, we know, if you know anything about him, loves puzzles. He's a puzzle freak, and it shows up in the complexity of his musicals. Well, I think for Ayckbourn, I think he's a puzzle freak too. I've never read that about him, but I think he loves to play with space and time. This is an earlier work. It's not necessarily jumping around in time, and it doesn't have any odd little prop gimmicks. so many of his shows as it went along, you'd always find some crazy prop gimmick in there somewhere. I don't think that's as true with this one, but I do think that his interest in weaving together a little puzzle like this was at the forefront of what he was thinking when he wrote these plays. So he was writing a play very much about real people in a very real, albeit comedic situation. A family, you know how families are, they're always in crisis, and if you take and explore the complexities of that or raise those stakes a little bit and put them in a comedic setting, and then get a chance to be able to look at it from not only three views that are occurring more or less at the same time, but it seems to me that each one gives you a different look at the characters too. You see different sides of each of these characters develop in each one of these plays that you wouldn't get if you only saw the one. So I don't know. I think for him, the little puzzle maker in him loved putting it together like that. But on the other side of the coin, I always think that Ayckbourn's a brilliant writer, and I love his stuff, and I love his early work. You know, really do love his early work.